program, and we believe we can carry it out because of the new powers and new independence we've been granted. We've created new government structures. New structures are arising on the territorial and municipal level. We have a very specific program, and we take all responsibility for implementing this program. And it's all in the numbers. There are no words or slogans there, it's all work. So the Moscow government will stop being a government of words and start being a government of actions. Yes, please don't offend us. We've never just sat here talking. And now we are getting down to work, and we'll be responsible for the results. You're watching Channel 1 TV News. Today in Riga, the first meeting of the 60 delegates of the Inter-Parliamentary Commission of the three Baltic countries began. The delegates met today at the first session of the Baltic Assembly in Riga. This assembly will be a consultative inter-parliamentary organ to provide answers to the most important issues facing us today. The parliamentarians chose a secretariat and a leadership. They are forming legal, economic, environmental, educational, cultural, communications, and scientific committees. The Riga has been chosen as the site for the Assembly's meetings. German ships have entered the Black Sea for the first time, according to German Wave Radio, heading for the Bulgarian port of Varna. The government of Taiwan is considering the possibility of filling up its ranks of fighter planes by buying MiG-29 airplanes, according to the Voice of America. The UN Security Council is creating a proposal, considering a proposal to create a fund to employ former Soviet nuclear scientists. The UN Security Council also declared a full embargo on Somalia, where fighting is going on with the Somalian Unity Congress, as a result of which 20,000 casualties have occurred, and the capital of Mogadishu is in ruins. In Algiers, the Islamic Fundamentalist Party has, in secret, chosen a successor to its previous leader, Hashani, and it also called on all Muslims to take decisive action at this Friday's prayers. The activists of the Islamic Front plan to meet at the two main mosques of the city. City forces opened warning shots above one of the main mosques today. There were no casualties. Today, the UN Security Council voted to accept the membership of Kazakhstan into this international organization. The President of the Security Council congratulated Kazakhstan on entering the United Nations. South African President de Klerk continues radical reforms. He says that the black majority population will participate in a referendum on introducing political reforms. However, the African National Congress protested that the measures were insufficient, and thousands of its members marched in the streets. Today, official diplomatic relations were established between China and Israel. The treaty signed by them today contains an express provision on the Taiwan question. Israel recognizes Taiwan as a part of China. The astronauts on the American Space Shuttle Discovery are conducting 2 days of experiments on the effect of weightlessness on the human nervous system and other experiments. The ASEAN countries discussed the increased danger of AIDS epidemic in Asian countries. The main causes of the AIDS epidemic in Asia are prostitution and the unavailability of contraception. Here in this park in Zurich, addicts are taking their daily dose. The government is taking no measures to stop them, and voluntary charitable organizations are distributing free syringes in an attempt to combat the AIDS epidemic. Many people are opposed to this action, believing that if drug abuse cannot be stopped, it can at least be limited. St. Petersburg and Moscow are not the only places where taxi drivers are on strike. In the American city of Dallas, taxi drivers are protesting against bad working conditions and bad relations with the police. There was a train disaster in the German city of Hanover today. 3 people were killed, 20 wounded. In the Italian city of Modena, these masterpieces were stolen from a museum today. The thieves will apparently not be able to sell them, but will simply ask for ransom for their return. And more about Commonwealth news. Today, the chairman of the Russian Supreme Soviet, Ruslan Khasbolatov, met with the Patriarch of Moscow and all Russia, Alexei II. The church here is separate from the government, but this does not mean that the state does not need the assistance of spiritual leaders. The Patriarch discussed the spiritual leadership role of the church in these difficult times when many people are turning to religion. But the Patriarch noted that the church should have only moral and not political influence on the society. And the church will also participate in charitable activities for the population. Today, an exhibit opened in Moscow today, India through the eyes of a Russian artist. It's Galina Volyunina. Her paintings bring surprises and unexpected scenes. She shows famous monuments and daily life happening side by side. Her paintings arouse a feeling of deep sympathy. You can feel her love for people, and especially the people of India. In the Indian Cultural Center, where the exhibition is taking place, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Republic. The meeting ended with warm words to the artist, but I have to add that this young Russian woman, who uses her husband's last name, has been disabled since childhood. Her extraordinary courage was overcome by her extraordinary efforts. She graduated from an institute and then was adopted by the patron IEAST organization, which provided for this exhibition, and also an exhibition of other products produced by people with disabilities, such as these wonderful games and toys, household items, and other goods. I suppose our times have begun to change when we see the desire and the possibility, even in our difficult times, to do good. Perhaps this is motivated by the desire to have the feeling that you have helped someone be happy. Good evening. Today, we begin our sports news today from Sheremetyevo 1 Airport. It's 7:30 p.m. and the president of the International Olympic Commission, Samaranch, has just arrived. He's here on an official visit to meet with President Yeltsin tomorrow to discuss the Olympic participation of the unified team of the CIS. What's the main question you're going to discuss with President Yeltsin tomorrow? We're going to discuss the issue of the participation of a unified team from here in the coming Olympic Games. What do you think about the unified team of the CIS? I hope that we will have a unified team because this would be much stronger than teams from the various republics. I also hope that they will be successful. because I think this will be one of the best teams both in Albertville and in Barcelona. We've already talked about our figure skaters' victory in Lausanne. This is the Yugoslav Peter Brown, who competed with Viktor Petrenko from Odessa. Today, late in the evening, the ice dancing pairs competition results were announced. First place went to Maria Klimova and Sergei Ponomarenko. In second, Usava and Julin, and in third, Grivchuk and Plotter. In New York, in the United States, there was a figure skiing, freestyle skiing competition, which will be an Olympic sport this year. This ski ballet is led by